So most company thinks they have the same traditional cybersecurity controls which will secure their AI system, like firewall, IDS, IPS, endpoint protection, you name it. But that's not the case, and which even makes it confusing for your cybersecurity team as well. So if you're in a situation, we're gonna walk into the details with my notes today and some of the projects I've been working, and I will share some of the stuff as well. So first thing first, those who don't know about myself, my name is Adnan, and I'm in the industry for more than 15 years. Worked on many large-scale projects. I've been design architect for many projects and worked for Fortune 30 companies, top Fortune 30 companies, big four, large data centers, and that's what my experience is all about. So pretty much I work in a lot of industry. Today I'm going to talk about some of the security tools or traditional tools which does not work. For example, take an example for firewall. Firewall has been designed for traditional network security. And if you were go back in the days, it was firewall, ACL and all that. But even today, it's all about network security, ingress traffic, egress, you name it, right? And the ports filtering, all that stuff. But when it comes to AI, it's totally a different layer. AI basically runs on application layer, which is on the top, and the application layer controls are different than when it comes to network and transport layer. So firewall rules, if you think is going to work, may not be the case. There is good enough, but on top of that, everything what happens on the application layer, the prompts, the data input, the API and everything, a firewall cannot deliver that. So that's the point, and you have to change your mindset that no firewall in the world can deliver you to protect your AI model when things happen on the application layer. And these things usually majority, or I would say 95% of the AI models are in the cloud. And when it comes to the cloud, then one of the area you have to look into in the cloud is sorry for that. Is the IAM control. So, but the question is that are these IAM controls are good enough? Because these are identity and access management control, who can do what. But IAM controls even more than that, because once somebody has access to the model, then they can play around however they want it. Like look at ChatGPT and Gemini, you go and type all type of prompts, but they're designed to not to respond to you in some prompts. Like we have seen the hacks in the last year or so where somebody was able to collect the data from ChatGPT or something, but the constant improvement happens from Microsoft and Google and all these, because they run those checks. The same thing if you are developing your model, you may need to consider the same thing, that your model should not spit out. So if you can say, okay, we have control, IAM control, no one can steal the data, but once you give access to the people, you got to make sure, yeah, they are not vulnerable to any prompt injection. Third thing is all about if you have logging and monitoring and SIEM security monitoring on the AI model, which we have talked about, you do not really monitor the actual model, you monitor the surrounding. And then how these SIEMs are capable enough, because SIEM will just detect the same traditional threats around that model. Like if somebody is trying to attempt many times, somebody's username password is not correct to access there. But SIEM would fail when somebody on a dashboard or on the console typing a prompt. How are you going to deal with that, right? So that's the challenge itself. Then what would you do if you are writing a script, copy paste, sort of an example for to steal the data from the model, to find out the information from the model, maybe a SQL injection related or similar, with somebody who really knows a model can be manipulated. So this is where the traditional tool fail. I've been hearing a lot about, and I've come across how to handle the situation. One of the situation or one of the product you can use is DLP, but DLP is still old school. DLP protects the email. You can have data loss and data prevention policies there. But when it comes to LLM model, how a DLP is going to protect, right? But so in that case, that is not even applicable, because the concept of DLP is different versus the application of DLP in this LLM model, how you are going to protect and deploy. So it may work limited, but it cannot work 100% like the way it works, where you have some sensitive data you're sending from your email, DLP just come and stop it, right? I've seen those and worked with those DLP where you can block that type of content. But again, something does exist for LLM model. I'm not really aware of that, but that's being said, DLP just for the email, not for the chat GPT prompts or any. Yeah. Let's talk about some of the traditional monitoring misuse, AI abuse. Monitoring, usually they look for malware, suspicious logging, and network anomalies. But in AI, these are the normal user, and they are trying to play around with the GPT model and trying to be smarter with them, and they want to create or generate whatever the content they want to misuse it. So that's another thing. There are good use of that, there are misuse of that, so that's another problem. So AI security is about what, basically, if I have to put together everything? So one thing is the data. So you want to make sure data should not be exfiltrated from those AI models, because it has gone through and trained a lot of data. And who is your targeted audience? What level of information you wanted to give it to them? And what type of prompt they type, and what type of output. This is important. So input, we talked about prompt injection, but in some cases it may not be prompt injection. It can be simple command somebody passes to those, and what kind of data is spitting out and showing to the end users. So have you go through all the process? Yeah, so that's the whole development cycle looks like. And when it comes to logging, what are you logging and for how long you keep those logs, and where are you ingesting those logs? So it's an ecosystem like this. So that's very important for you to understand. And the Brock and you know AI model security teams are used to do in a traditional way may not work. So let me know what you think, because if your AI model plans just to look and start with, hey, we have firewalls and IAM roles and SIEM, in my opinion, this is not enough. You are protecting at the wrong layer. You have to go much deeper, which is already evolving, and you have to go dig deeper into the granular details. So that's being said, if you're in your situation and you're working and designing some of those, let me know in the comments. I'd be more happy to know and see what solution you have, or what situation have you come across. Or, and of course, there are some frameworks and available to in the market. You can develop on that, design some baseline security, which I will share in the near future. That being said, thank you, and I'll see you in my next video.